Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine at home. Okay, students, shall we learn commerce? Okay, the first lesson we are learning the management. Okay, the principles. That is what we are going to learn. Okay, the principles of scientific management, and two principles there. One is scientific management, and the other one is the modern management. Okay, so first we will learn this one. Before that we will have a recap. Okay, in this lesson we have studied about what is management. Okay, it is getting things done with and through others. Okay, it is part and parcel of our day-to-day life, and it is that is planning our actions and doing scientifically in order to achieve the desired result. Okay, then the other one we have studied, it is a global concept and universal concept, isn't it? Then the concepts of management we have studied, isn't it? That one, the management as a body of knowledge, then it is the management tools, then the separated discipline, then specialization, and the code of conduct. Okay, then professional associations. That is the concept. Then the next heading, definitions and meaning. We have learned two definitions and the meaning also. Then whether management is an art or a science. So we have studied that it is an inexact science and art not in toto, isn't it? So, but as a conclusion we have learned it. It is a combination of both the science and art, isn't it? Then next we have studied the difference between management and administration. We have concluded that management is below administration. Administration is the top level, executive level. Then below that one, the management. They in the administrator, they formulate the policies and plan the future that programs, and it will be executed, it will be put into force by the management, and they have to get the works done with the workers and through the workers. So it is just above management. Administration is above management. Okay, then the process of management. It is a continuous process. That means we can, there are 5 processes. Okay, it is coordination. Management is coordination. They have to coordinate the different activities. Okay, because the principles, we deal with men, machine, material and money. These principles will be put together. So they have to coordinate all these resources, natural resources and human resources. Then it is a managerial process, because the managerial functions, planning, organizing, okay, coordinating, staffing will be done by each and every manager. So it is the managerial process. Then it is a purposive process. That purpose is there for that aim, the goal of an organization will be making more profit. So in order to attain the goal only, the management function is carried out. So it is a purposive process, and it is a social process, because the management or the establishment of an organization is in the midst of a society. So it has some social responsibilities. So that it is a social process. Then it is a cyclical process. So it never comes to an end after doing a particular work. Okay, it is continuously carried out. After carrying out one work, and it will be controlled, it will be evaluated, and he has to find out the deviation, and again he has to take again steps. Then they will compare with the actual, with the standard measures, and if there is any discrepancies, that must be rectified. Okay, so it is a cyclical process. That means they plan, then they do, then the control is there. Again they have to plan for the next year. Okay, it is a continuous process. So until then we have learned. Now the next heading we are going to learn is the scientific management. Okay, what are the principles? This scientific management, when it came into the world, because we have learned that in the origin it was that the how this one this that means the wholesale organization that came into existence in the world in the 18th 19th centuries, because the large scale production took place and they have increased the production of quantities in large numbers. So they need to sell those products in the market also. And in order to manage these production and marketing, so this management has been evolved. So here only the author, that means the one who developed this theory, okay, that is F.W. Taylor. We say scientific management is invented by Taylor, F.W. Taylor, that means Frederick Winslow, F.W. Taylor. He is the one who developed this scientific management, that principles. Okay, so whatever we do, that means even in the production or marketing, we have to do everything scientifically. Okay, there will be a system in doing a thing. Okay, so he has done this experiment in England. Okay, in England he has done this experiment with in a coal mine. In a coal mine, there are many slaves, the African and South American slaves. Okay, with them only he has conducted this study. Okay, he experimented. So how this, because main thing is in the scientific management, because the management will be getting the things done from the workers. So there will be that good relationship between the management and the working force, that means the workers or the employees. There will be complete harmony. Okay, good relation, there will be good terms with both the people, with the management and the workers. Only then they could achieve the that goal of the organization easily. Okay, otherwise they will be fighting for their own rights and with each other, isn't it? So they cannot, if we all together, that means united is that united is good, but divided we fall. That there is a saying, isn't it? So as per that one, if the workers and management cooperate each other and they have a good relation, the good attitude towards each other, then they can achieve the company's objectives, the organization's objectives. That's why he has propounded this theory, that scientific management. Okay, what he has given around 5 principles. Okay, the first one, science not rule of thumb, then harmony not discard, then mental revolution, cooperation not individualism, development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. So we will learn one by one in detail. Okay, science not a rule of thumb. So it is. So what is the rule of thumb? The manager, what he thinks, he will ask the workers to do. Okay, his personal desires. That means his decisions, his personal decisions must be given to the workers. They have to act. But what he says, scientifically we have to plan. Okay, whatever the work they be do, that cause and effect, with the cause and effect principle must be followed. What is that? Means the in our language, reason and result. Whatever we do, we should ask why. What is the reason? What is the result of that one? Okay. So even for simple things, they will analyze the cause and effect relation. Okay. For example, if they are going to load some of the products inside a vehicle, okay, so we should apply the science, how we can reduce the time and how we can reduce the energy of the workers to load these things inside the vehicle. Okay, that will be analyzed and they will follow that one. Okay, in order to reduce the energy and the time. So whatever we do, it must be analyzed scientifically with this cause and effect relationship. Only then, that means we have to analyze scientifically. Okay, scientific analysis is very important to do any work in the factory. Okay, that is science, not rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means we point out the other people to do. You do this, you do that. Okay, that may not be there. Okay, that means we show our power in front of others. Okay, getting things, work we could do without giving any rest for them. That may not be there, but scientifically it must be planned. Okay, that is the first point. Second one, harmony, not discard. Here, the management and the workers, they must have complete harmony. Management and workers. That means their relationship must be good. There should be complete harmony. There may not be any problems or any confusion or any conflict between these two people. If they have any conflict between management and workers, then they cannot achieve the desired result. The aim cannot be achieved. Understand? But if they are in harmony, that means good relation, they have good attitude, positive attitude towards others, then they can get the desired result easily. Okay, so for this we can have some things we can do. What the management can get the advice of the workers, their suggestion, and a part of the profit must be shared among the workers. Okay, or if some people are not working properly, then they should identify those people and they can give some training in order to bring improvement. Okay, and they should have, then full discipline must be there in the work. Okay, everybody must work with the discipline. That means the respect of the elders or respect of the authorities. Okay, their superiors must be respected and what they say they have to be obedient. So that kind of discipline must be there in the workplace. And sincerity is very important, isn't it? Sincerity should be there. Sincerity. Everyone, even the workers and the management, they must be sincere in their own work. Management must be sincere in their work. Workers must be sincere and dedicated in their work. Okay, with this they can achieve this harmony. Okay, but one person, each should understand each other. Okay, for example, the management should understand the feelings of the workers. At the same time, the workers also must understand the management because they are the representatives of the owners, isn't it? On behalf of the owners only they are working. So we have to consider their words because that is the word given by the owners. Okay, then they have to, the management should understand the workers because without workers there is no owner, isn't it? So if the workers work properly, only the owner can prosper. So they must respect their feelings. Okay, they must understand. Okay, the workers. So there must be a complete harmony between management and the workers in order to achieve the desired result, the aim. Okay, even in some countries, especially in Japan, they have one practice. So they never conduct strike. Okay, no strike in Japan. Even if they have some demands, what they do, no, they no lockdown, okay. They come to the factory and they work even for that extra time, overtime, but they will have one black badge in their shirt, okay. So that means they are in strike, we can understand, that's all. But here means we do lockdown and we lock out, we say. And what we say, they will sit outside the gate and they will be making many slogans, okay, raising their hands and making many slogans, okay. They uh, simply demand for many things, okay. So demands may not be more, they may not demand this thing from the management, okay. The management also may not torture the workers. So then there will be a complete harmony between the management and the workers, okay. Then the third one, mental revolution, okay. That means we should have that mental attitude towards the same one only, okay. These three will be somewhat connected, okay. So the mental attitude towards each other means who? The management and the workers must be positive, okay. The mental attitude, it must be a complete change must be there, okay. It must be positive, that negative attitude may not be there, okay. That mental change must take place between the attitude of the management and the workers. So the management will be thinking of the organization and owners, that they will be just worrying about the increase in profit, isn't it? If they want to increase the profit, they have to respect the workers, okay. So if they get more profit, a part of the profit can be shared with the workers. Then they will work, the workers will work efficiently, okay, continuously without any conflict, okay. So that means they have to work together. Management and the workers work together. Togetherness must be present there. Which two people. Two people means here the management and the workers. The togetherness must be there. Then only they can achieve the aim. That means the profit. Some of the profit can be distributed to the workers, okay. The next one, cooperation, not individualism, is also related to this one, isn't it? So individualism means we may not think I am the one who is doing everything, I am the one can do everything, but not others, okay. So the team spirit must be there, team spirit between the management and the workers, okay. They must cooperate, that means here no, the not discard, harmony, everything should be there, okay. With and cooperation, okay. Cooperation, team spirit, then that and mutual confidence, okay, towards each other. They must trust others, okay. The management must trust the workers will do their work, okay. Again, if they need to get any suggestions or opinions, must be got from the workers. And if it increase that organization's efficiency or the profit, then a share of that profit can be given back, or a reward can be given to that particular worker, one who has given some opinion or suggestion, okay. So in that way they can encourage the workers. And the workers also at the same time, here we have studied, no, they may not go for any strike, okay. They may not have more demands may not be there, unnecessary demands, okay. It should not be more, demand should not be more, okay. So they have to consider that they this management and workers, they are the two pillars. On that, what is standing? The organization, okay. So they are the two pillars on that the organization stands. If this one pillar is small and the other is high, that organization cannot stand properly, isn't it? So the both should, they have to understand each other. They should have that team spirit. Okay, they should cooperate. They may not think each one is that better than the other one. Okay, so with mutual cooperation and understanding, if they work, they can succeed. Okay, for the betterment of the organization. The last point is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. So that must be needed, isn't it? Each person should improve his efficiency or her efficiency. That one only will lead the prosperity of the person as well as the whole organization as the whole. Okay, for this purpose efficient people must be selected. Okay, efficient employees must be selected. That means fully qualified, and if they need some training, that can be given. Either they can appoint the that experienced candidates, or if they are well qualified, okay, efficient, then they can give some more training to make them efficient. Okay, once they do the work, they will be more efficient, and automatically they will prosper themselves. Okay, and if they do the things efficiently, they prosper, automatically the whole organization also will get prospered. Okay, so they will maintain not only her greatest efficiency, but the organization's efficiency also will be increasing. Okay, they can succeed, the organization can succeed. Okay, so I think I have explained the scientific management. I have marked this one in the textbook itself. Okay students, so I will show to you and you can note it down. Okay, you have to write it in your notebook. Okay, now I will show to you. It is one of the 5-mark question. Okay, scientific management. Okay, that 5 points you have to write. Okay, principles of scientific management propounded by Taylor. First 5 points you write. Then number 1, you see that in order to increase organizational efficiency, that point is the first one. Second one, rule of thumb means decisions taken by manager as per their personal judgments. Then the third point, that next side, decision should be based on scientific inquiry with cause and effect relationship. Okay, then the second point, harmony not discard. That the first point Taylor emphasized. Then second point, both the management and the worker should realize the importance of each other. Then third one, it means that there should be complete change in the attitude and outlook of workers and management towards each other. Okay, then the next, mental revolution. Okay, only 3 points enough in each one. Okay, mental revolution here. The technique of mental revolution involves a change in the attitude of workers and management towards each other. Second point, management as well as the workers should aim to increase the profits of the organization. Then third point, for this the workers should put in their best efforts so that the company makes profit, and on the other hand management should share part of profits with the workers. 3 points. Then cooperation not individualism. Here 3 points. First one, cooperation, mutual confidence, sense of goodwill should prevail among both managers as well as workers. Second point, workers should be considered as part of management and should be allowed to take part in decision making process of the management. Then third point, at the same time workers should also resist from going on strike or making unnecessary demand from management. One more point in this one, management should always guide, encourage and help the workers. Then fifth point, there the first one, to attain the efficiency, this one till here. Second one, efficient employees produce more to earn profit, more to earn more. Then the last one, this ultimately helps to attain efficiency and prosperity for both organization and the employees. Okay, up to here. So 5 points in each one, 3, 3, one third, one fourth alone, 4 points. Okay, you study this one. Okay, students, it is very important question, so don't neglect this one. Okay, you study well. Okay, thank you, students. Pray to God and be in the house itself. Okay, be safe and secure. Thank you, students. Bye.